glad I made that last video. One thing that I'd like to say is that these hands, don't read too much into this. For the longest time, my hands are always moving, okay? My fingertips, ever since I was a kid, I've fidgeted. People mistake my hand movements for things that I don't know what they're talking about, okay? I mean, being ignorant is really bliss when it comes to that kind of stuff. So don't read too much into that. But I want to talk to you guys about something that I have never really considered before. To the extent, I mean, I'm talking about Satan. I'm talking about Satan himself. Shouldn't touch my face. But kind of how I've been a Christian and tried to be as observant as possible, okay? Doing my best, and I have never seen anything like this in the world. Never. I've felt like back in 2015. Yeah, no. 2015, yeah. But 2013 and 2015 were really bad years for the devil coming out of everywhere and anybody, okay? But this one feels a little different because I'm not saying that the end of time is coming or anything like that, but people really got to be careful. I mean, some of these scars that I got, I really had to earn the hard way, and it wasn't fun. Some of like some of the things, the fights that I got into would make a combat vet blush. I mean, it was brutal stuff, and I really wonder now if we aren't kind of reaching a point where people have to make a decision. You have to make a conscious decision, and you really have to have it in here. Like what I've learned through some things that have happened to me is that you can get bogged down by your actions. You know, things that you do can condemn you, but you are saved through faith. Like faith will make you whole, right? But that doesn't mean that you can go around acting any kind of way. I really believe that people are being tested and have been getting tested since the rollover of really 2010. It seems like to me there was a lot of deaths. There's a lot of mysterious deaths. Scary stuff. I mean, like, not like there's, from my personal story, not like there's some person around who may or may not do something and is dangerous, because that's normal. Like, you can kind of, like, after a while, come to grips with that kind of stuff. I'm talking about, like, the truly demonic that is not human. And even the angel of death, okay, and the Holy Spirit on the other end. I've been telling people since about 2013, around 2012, the beginning of 2013, I woke up one morning, and I'll never forget it, because I said to myself, like, there is a new evil in the world. Like, there is a new principality and a new power, and it's bad. And it's gonna lash out. Well, the more I shared that sentiment with people who were usually a little more experienced, they would agree with me. They'd say, I feel this, I feel it too, like it's not good. Um, and people got tested. I know I did. And, having almost died a few times and not bragging about it, but really being in a position where I could die, knowing a lot of people who have died through many different ways, it's not a joke to me. Like, life is not a joke, okay? You gotta believe that. If you think life is some joke where you can just kind of be flippant and do whatever you want to do and be a cool dude about it and keep going and arrogant, you are going to crash and burn. I mean, it's going to be, you've got like a little policy set up for yourself. So I really adjure people to cling to this, to read the Bible, read the New Testament, get into it. Take some time every day when you're in your quarantine, and if you can, read the New Testament. I was distracted. I remembered because, with some things going on right now, with everything that's going on right now in my life and the world with this virus and with some things that I've been struggling with people around me who just don't know how to stop. I'm being tried, okay? Everybody's being tried. And the trick is to distance yourself as much as possible from anybody who might be trying to do you harm, and separate yourself from anger and violence and all that, because I'm having a hard time with it, to be honest. Like, I've been praying a lot, and some of the things that people are up to are just directly in the way on purpose. I see a failure in, this is God's honest stuff. I see a failure in law enforcement. I see a failure in the moral fiber of society to do anything to stand up to any of this. It's like, at the end of the day, if I want somebody to stop spreading like pain and hate and misery and debt and addiction and death, I'm going to have to put my life in my hands and stop them, if I really care that much. And do I? That's not what this says. Like, it's way too easy to go ahead and do something to somebody. So I try to keep it to preaching. I'll tell you that I believe that you're wrong, that I believe that you're acting in a selfish, evil manner, or I'll tell you the truth like that, because that's probably the best that we can do, without really becoming, a son of the devil instead. So watch out, because I feel like a lot of people in today's world right now kind of feel empowered. A lot of people feel empowered, like this is their shot to be the biggest pain in the neck, dead weight as possible, just because there's an opportunity. And there's punishment for that. Don't do that. Now is the time for you to get your life, I mean right now, it's time for you to get your life right. Because you don't want to be like me and not having woken up one day and realized that there's evil, a new evil in the world, and have it blindside you and steal your soul, send you to Sheol, to hell. This is no joke, people. Some of the stuff that people are engaged in is just reprehensible. Unforgivable. It says in the New Testament that Any sin can be forgiven except blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, which will never be forgiven. It's a tough one, but it's in there. There is something that cannot be forgiven. You don't want to end up being unforgiven. You might think you do, but trust me, I've seen it before. It's a bad deal.